Hello my friends, welcome to the Animal Kingdom Foundation, which is based in Capas, Tarlac in the Philippines. This centre currently houses around 500 dogs, all rescued from the meat trade. Here is the quarantine area, where all the dogs that are rescued on the raids, when they are first brought here, they go into the quarantine area for a short time before being integrated into the main kennels. And if you read the poster above, that basically says everything you need to know about this centre. And now we approach the main kennel area. The van you can see is the rescue van, where all the raids that are performed, all the animals come via the van. And these animals you can see in this kennel here, the holding kennel, they are the 74 dogs that were rescued in the latest raid on the 6th of September last month. All 74 dogs will now live their lives happily at the centre and will be integrated into the main kennels soon. Now as we head into the small holding kennels, we can see Angel, who was brought in here recently. Angel is totally blind in both eyes, she doesn't see a thing. But now she's happy and content at the centre where she's well cared for. We can see the puppy kennel. Hello little puppies! Hello little puppies! Hello! Hello! The vets on duty, Dr. Rowland and Dr. Donna, who work in the surgery in the main building, they perform all these spays and castrations as soon as the rescued animals arrive at the facility. Also, any wounds that the animals may have from being held by twine, the vets continuously check upon them and make sure their wounds are dressed until they heal. Most of the animals in this video, you will notice they have scarring. It's basically due to the way the dogs are held together with twine on their arms and especially their mouths. A lot of the time it's literally just plastic bags which are wrapped around so tight to stop the animals from biting, but obviously that tightness cuts into them and leaves them with permanent scarring. As you can see, lots of dogs have nasty scarring on their mouths. And as you can see, there are now some very, very happy dogs. You will also notice quite a lot of holes in the kennel areas. Basically, these are holes that the dogs dig themselves as a method of keeping cool in the scorching heat. Like I say, there's around 28 large facilities for the dogs. large kennel areas, and they all seem to know it's now lunchtime. There are, however, dogs everywhere you go, from the main compound right up to the cemetery near the top. The dogs are allowed to just basically live their lives in happiness and peace and just stroll about at their leisure. And they love dogs so much here, even the hedges are little dogs. And the other day we had a visit from David Newell, who is Director of Dogs Trust in the UK. And he came to visit the facilities, see for himself firsthand the work that the Animal Kingdom Foundation does here. Charles Wartenberg, the president who set up this fantastic place, he came here around 1996 and could not believe what was happening to these dogs. Therefore, this is the reason that this place is in existence. As you can see, every single dog knows dinner time is fast approaching. Now, I'll introduce you to some of my little friends who know I'm here already. Hello! Hello! The white one with the black eyes is Bono, as in Bono the singer. And this other beautiful little girl, hello, this is Fiona. You waiting for your din-dins? No? As you can see, at lunchtime, they always get boisterous. Don't you? Yes, you do, Fiona. You're a little girl. Fiona! Fiona! Bono! 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 Come on then, there's a good boy. Hello, Fiona. Hello, Fiona. You going to get your dindies? What a good girl. And this other friendly little face. This is the lovely Bridget. Hello, Bridget. She's a beautifully natured dog. And this beautiful angel is Tower. Come on, Tower. What a good boy. Tower. Want to get your din-dins? He's a lovely, gentle animal too. Hopefully he will be rehomed soon. He's a good boy. Just waiting patiently for his dinner. He's the most placid dog you could ever meet. As you can see, some of the dogs are crafty. They try and pinch the dinner from the dinner cart. This dog you can see here is one of the first dogs to come here and was rescued by Greg, one of the main rescue workers. More dogs waiting for lunch. Hello! So as you can see, the kennel area is quite substantial. Now, they did have a massive typhoon and a lot of the structures got damaged. A lot of the trees came down and a lot of work needed doing. The main monies that come to support this work are from the National Wildlife Coalition Trust based in England. But the costs for the upkeep of all these animals is obviously very substantial. That doesn't even include the staff wages, electricity bills, food and such. So they always need that extra help. The only income they actually make from this place is via the mango trees, which you can see all around me now. In the summer, the mango crop, Yaz, who is the centre manager, she collects them and they are sold at local market. But that is only a very small dip in the ocean. Now we will visit the cemetery area where all the poor dogs that are brought here during the raids unfortunately don't make it. Charles was telling me recently how on any particular raid, because of the horrendous heat here, the vast majority of dogs that are transported back don't survive. It's only a small amount that actually do make it, hence the need for the cemetery, unfortunately. And I now, being here in person in this horrendous heat, can truly appreciate the suffering of these poor animals, bound and tied, hidden often in hidden compartments underneath trucks, squeezed so tight they can't even move, hands and legs bound, paws bound, mouths bound so they can't even breathe properly, and it's no wonder that so many of them die. For the rescued animals, at least there's some consolation in the fact that they're now at peace in a little area designed specifically for their little bodies to lay at rest. And the plants mark the spot where the dogs are buried. Every night before it gets dark, I come here just to reflect, and I always say a little prayer for the dogs. Just brings it all home when you stand here. And you know what all the dogs have been through, the suffering, the cruelty. It's just absolutely horrendous. And as I speak now, the tears are just flowing. Most of these dogs, they've never even had a name. Never had a name. Now for all these ones who didn't make it, I would like you all to say a prayer for them. So as I sit here, just contemplating, just taking in everything that's happened to me during this trip, now I finally understand. The dog meat trade, it is a very small minority in a population of approximately 90 million. But that still equates to around 2,000 dogs a week being slaughtered for meat. Yesterday, the Animal Kingdom Foundation visited a local city and provided a vaccinations day. Approximately 300 dogs were vaccinated. There were also operations taking place, spays and neuterings, and all the animals were wormed, and Charles and Yaz, the centre manager, all provided brand new collars and leads for all the dogs, because in the Philippines many people, most of them, love their animals dearly, but money is so tight in the Philippines. It's a different planet in England. People who don't have work in England, they're subsidised by the government regarding housing benefit, dole money, etc. In the Philippines there's no such thing. No such thing whatsoever. People live in huts. People that surround this place, they have absolutely nothing. And that's why yesterday we seen many dogs coming in with wire around their necks. One of them even came in and it had plastic carrier bags basically just tied together and wound round the dog a makeshift collar and lead. So you can imagine the amount of people coming in yesterday who were just so grateful to be given a collar and lead. It's just simple things like that which helps these people so much, and it all helps to educate the people. This country is fantastically beautiful, and just because of a very, very small minority who persist in eating dog meat, it spoils it for the tourist trade and for the vast majority, and therefore nations like England, America, we all tend to think of Asian countries as horrific animal murderers who just slaughter dogs, cats, any animal they can lay their hands on, here, there and everywhere. But believe it or not, it is a minority. The vast majority of people in the Philippines love their animals dearly, and that showed so much yesterday, the amount of visitors we had, and it was just fantastic to see the joy on their faces as we were handing out the collars and leads. And that's all subsidised by the Animal Kingdom Foundation, and also local vet schools throughout the whole of the Philippines. They partake on these days as well, so all the trainee vets get actual hands-on experience giving worming tablets, doing basic vaccinations and such, because a lot of the vet schools in the Philippines, there's no actual practical animal handling until they actually go on to location. So it helps all the veterinary colleges as well. The people that work here, the kennel hands, I wouldn't even dare tell you how much they make a week compared to the likes of what we make in England and the USA. They make a pittance, and it just shows they don't do it for the money, they do it for the animals, and that's the only reason, for the animals. I could never ever praise the Animal Kingdom Foundation enough for the work that they do, in particular Charles Wartenberg for setting it up in the first place, and Yaz, the centre manager, Alan, all the kennel hands, every single one of them, everybody involved, Greg, Louis, the frontline rescuers, Heidi, who is the law specialist for the Animal Kingdom Foundation, and it's saying something when Heidi is literally, in the whole of the Philippines, she's the only animal lawyer in this country, and she works on all the court cases, all the raids that come up, all the ongoing court cases. She processes all those on behalf of the Animal Kingdom Foundation. My main purpose for coming here was to see the actual work that goes on here, to help out if and when I can, and basically to promote the centre for the fantastic work that it does. That's my report on the Animal Kingdom Foundation, and as you can see, the work that they do, it's never ending, and the money is always needed. So please donate whatever you can, and thanks everybody. See you back in England.